in public health and over 20 years of experience in clinical teaching and training. She's the founder of Nourish and Align, a wellness program dedicated to supporting women, particularly through the often overlooked journey of pre-menopause. It's echoing. What makes Candice's voice so powerful? Okay, we just give Shante some time quickly. I think it's the house, maybe. What makes Candice's voice so powerful is not just her professional expertise, but her professional journey. She's currently navigating this very season herself and is passionate about equipping women over 40 with practical tools, knowledge, and grace to thrive, not just to survive. With a science-backed insight, holistic perspectives, and refreshingly honest approach, Candice brings a much-needed conversation around hormone health, balance, and well-being to our gathering. We are honored to have her to join us. Please welcome Candice Nicholls.
Okay, thank you. I've never ever had such a welcome. Someone like bringing me up to a stage. I've also not been on a stage before. My style is very, one-on-one and being at the bottom. So this is very, guys, it's a lot. Also, when Carmen messaged me, she said, like, can you speak on perimenopause and menopause? And I'm looking at, some of you are still very hips and, life is in here. So I'm going to have to align my talk properly for this stage. But how many here are over 40? Over 40? Yes, all the women over 40. If you are 35, so 35 to 40, okay, you're on your way there, I'm going to be talking a bit about the support your body needs during this stage, because things are changing. How many of you felt different after 40? Those of you who are 40. You get up and all of a sudden, things are not working the way they used to, or you got pains you never had before. I found myself doing this now. I used to be able to read like this. Now I'm like, this year I put the thing here and I'm like, no man, I can't be here already. So after 40 you start to notice, even as young as 35, you start to pick up something is not the way it used to be. And you start thinking, 1 month you are peaceful and you can do everything. And then next month, you like raging and you've got no energy and you can't sleep. Okay, how many of you are not sleeping through the night? How many of you wake up and you just awake and you can't fall asleep again? How many of you have night sweats? How many of you have hot flashes sometimes? Okay. How many of you have hair is falling out? Like your hair's thinning so much, you don't know what's happening. Your skin is getting drier and it's not, no matter how much hyaluronic acid you're using, it's not plumping it up. Okay, these are normal things that occur when women reach this age. But how many of you were prepared for it? How many of you prepared for all the things that were sort of going haywire? No? Most of us are prepared for when we hit puberty, and our mothers tell us this is what's going to happen. When we get to this age, there's no mother to tell us, listen, you're ready. You're going to hit this thing that's coming now. And you're just not. And you're like, what ga I know on? I'm the brain fog. How many of you forget half the things you were supposed to forget? Like you can't remember. My husband talks to me and I'm like, I don't remember anything. You have to write it down now. I have to put things in a calendar, which I never had to do before. I can't niks onthou nie. Okay, the brain fog is real. So my goal here today is for, if you are in that age category, if you know you're experiencing some of these symptoms, is to empower you with information. That's my goal. I'm going to tell you what's happening in your body, why it's happening. If you pass menopause, now, if you're like, okay, I'm now over 50, it's now verby, some of those things can help you because You also can still live a very long, happy life with some proper exercises and support. Ne? So I will speak to some of that as well. But I want to give you some hope and just some encouragement and some tools that you can use to support yourself. So this is about the body. Now, so I'm focusing on the body aspects this morning and how you can support your body, because at the end of the day, I mean, I love the setting, because God isn't just interested in our spirits and our souls and our emotions. We're also carrying a whole body with us. And as women over 40, we're often the forgotten demographic. You know, products are focused on young women. And then the medical staff, there's like thousands of articles when you hit your 20s, how to support you during pregnancy, how to be the best mother you can be. How to be the best mom you can be. Ooh, lots of feedback. This might be worse. Okay, well, anyway, where was I talking about? See, brain fog. I can't even remember 5 minutes ago. God is interested in our bodies. And the reason why I feel like this is such an important spot is because when I hit this age, I'm like, no, man, I'm not just going to accept that this is now it. Because when I went to my mom and I said, Mommy, did you experience this stuff? And she's like, yes, but it's just part of it. It's part of life. You must just deal. And I'm like, no, I'm not dealing. I'm not dealing with any of this. I want to know what I need to do, and I need to go ask questions. And then I went to the doctor, and I went to the GP and the gynae, and I'm like, please. And then I realized there's not enough information. No one is telling me anything. I'm spending 700 rand on a consultation, and I gaan like net uit, you must just prepare for this phase of life. Okay, but you're still okay. They must tell you you're still okay. You're not in menopause yet, so jy's nog okay. But when you get there, just know this is what you're going to experience. And I was like, no, this is not okay with me. Women need to know what they're in for and how you can make it more about thriving and not just surviving. No? So how many of you went through this stage already? You've gone through menopause and it wasn't lekker, and you wish you had information. Yeah, still going through it. You just wish you had information or you had known something, because you feel alone. You feel alone in the journey. No one else is talking about it. And at that point, I'm like, I must got a big mouth. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to tell people what I'm experiencing. And together we can start creating awareness. And that's what I wanted to do. So my talk I entitled today is called The Second Spring. Because what I found was that in the different cultures, especially in the Chinese culture, they refer to menopause as the second spring. And I thought, wow, that's a nice way. This thing is so in my way. Can I move this thing? Yes, possibly. Okay. So in that culture, they refer to menopause as the second spring. And I thought, that is so beautiful. What do they mean? So in that culture, they actually prepare their women for that age. And they call it the second spring because it's a time of going inward. You know, when we're in our younger years, and those of you who are in your 20s now, or married and with kids, you're pouring out consistently. You know? You're constantly giving to your family, you're giving to your kids, you give to your career. And now you hit a state where things are starting to change. Now you're going to go back inside. You're going to go back to your own self. You're like, what is happening for me? How do I look after my body? How do I look after me? And also, this is the gift that this low estrogen gives us, is that you lose that ability where you don't care anymore what someone thinks, and it's beautiful. Because now, you're like, I don't care, you know? And there's a club now called for menopause called the hashtag We Don't Care Club. And you can go on social media and check it out, because it's just women who are in this age group and like, we don't care, you know? And that's the beauty of this phase. You stop caring what people think, and now you can do things. You're like, I'm going to go do this thing now, and and it's okay, and I'm not nervous about it. So that's the gift it gives you. But the second spring is about building up your strength in your body and returning to the wisdom within. And that's not new agey. God is within you. Jesus lives inside, ne? So this is part of that process, is listening to what my body is telling me and how can I support it. And then what is this new phase for me? It's now time for you to develop a new you. Okay. But now let me explain to you what's happening. How many of you actually know what happens during menopause? You know about the symptoms. You know what? How many of you know any other symptoms besides hot flashes? That's the only one people always tell you, no? Like you're going to go through menopause, you're going to hot flash, and then you're sweating, and the steam's coming out of your head, and you're flushed. But there are many other symptoms, and there's a reason for that. So today I wanted to go on because when she gave me the brief, I just assumed it was similar to what I did the last time. So I want to touch on some of what's happening in your body. You can go to the next slide. Okay, but you can't see this really. But perimenopause is the 5 to 10 years before you actually hit full menopause. So that 35 years can start, but from 40 to 50 is perimenopause. Menopause is when you've stopped having a cycle. You stopped having a period for 12 months. No, for 12 months you got no period. It stops. Now you're classified. J is no in menopause, and I hate that because it's like you treat it like a thing, man. Okay, up until that time you're okay. Then your period's now. Oh, it's been 12 months. You're in menopause. Good luck. Sign you off and you go. Okay. So perimenopause is that 10 years before that, and you get to pick up on that symptoms and prepare yourself for when menopause hits. Menopause is simply just, it's been 12 months, you have no estrogen left in your body. There's a little bit, but you got no more ovarian function. Your ovaries stop producing estrogen. Estrogen is the thing that makes you feel stuff, keeps your hair full and bouncy and your skin plump. It fights inflammation. It keeps this belly fat at the low, So how many of you struggling to get rid of this pooch here? No. This is low estrogen. As you get older, this doesn't want to go away. It sits here and you can eat right. You can do sit-ups for 5 days a week. This fat around the organs in this area is just harder to get rid of because of the low estrogen. Okay, so if you look at my graph, the first one you can see things are pretty much in a cycle. No? That's your normal cycle. Those of you in your 20s and your 30s, you're happily going along. It's normal. You know you can predict when you're going to get 5 to 7 days. It's clear, happy days. When you reach perimenopause, estrogen starts to do very highs, very lows. And it starts acting haphazardly, and your progesterone slowly starts to go down. Now, in that haphazard stage, in your 40s, that's where we call it the zone of chaos. This is where the party starts. This is where the brain fog gets like really, really hectic. Ooh, I sound better. This is where the brain fog gets really hectic. This is where you have the abnormal cycles in between, the sleep disturbances start, the random irritation, and sometimes rage at weird things that you can't understand. Jay is net kwaad. The steam is coming out of you. You don't understand why you're upset. This is the phase you're in. The joint pain starts. Now you start like, why is my feet sore? Like you get up and you're like, why is my back? Now you're stretching more, you're cracking more. You're like, this wasn't like this. Like a year ago, I don't think I felt this way. Everything starts to pain, but the joint pain is real. It's a result of the low estrogen, the joint pain, the low-grade inflammation that starts to work through your body. Because estrogen receptors, the stuff that works with estrogen, are from the top of your head down to the bottom of your feet. So when estrogen drops, all of those things start to be affected, which is why your hair starts to thin out. Your skin starts to get a bit dry and thin. That's the joint pain. And then this for me is really a thing, the central adiposity here. But at the same time, you're picking up weight here, but you're losing muscle mass. So you find the muscles that are on your arms, that's disappearing. Now you're like, what's happening now? I don't understand. And this is all because of that hormone fluctuations. So how are you going to support yourself through this phase? Because it doesn't have to be bad. There are so many things we can do, and how we can support us with nutrition, with exercise and movement, which is great because I know the movement person is here also. So that's wonderful because I'm hoping she will also then, I think it's you, ne? Yes, focus on some of the resistance training, how to build that muscle. Because if you're in your 40s, building the muscle is going to help sustain you after 50 and your bones. Let me talk about the bones later. Okay, so this is what's happening. The hormones, we call it the zone of chaos. Everything's going mad, and that's why you're feeling the way you do. You can go to the next slide, please. Okay. So also, if you've registered for this, I've sent all the emails and the stuff and I will email it to you, so you have everything available, right? So you can see there, this is where it's pinpointing where everything is going wrong. So it's increasing headaches, hair falling out, skin dryness, joint pain, hot flashes, weight changes, and then bone health. So over 50 and your estrogen drops completely, your risk for getting brittle bones increases. So you need to start taking calcium now. So calcium and vitamin D, it starts now. And getting resistance training in. So working the muscles, ladies, you need to work the muscles. The more muscle mass you have, the stronger your bones are going to be later on. Okay, so you can see this business here. All your hormones going buck wild, all this is going to happen. So what you're feeling is normal. So don't let anyone undermine what you are feeling. I won't forget, I did lots of tests now. Because I was like, but this isn't, I'm waiting for menopause, no? That's just coming when I'm 50, not when I'm 45. So it's coming when I'm 50, and it means that I haven't had a proper cycle, and now I'm not feeling okay. And I go to the doctor, he's like, but it can't be this. It can't be this. We're gonna do this. I spent my whole medical aid funds on tests. All the tests, ek het niks meer geld oor nie. And I'm like, I'm going through perimenopause. And not one doctor would give me that information. So anyway, next slide, please. Yeah. So how are you going to support your body? There's some things. Nutrition is one. So we're going to talk about a high protein diet and a high fiber diet. Those are two of the most important things you can do. Ladies, we can't get away with having takeout every day. You know, like back in the day, we could. Ons kan lekker geëet het. That's not going to fly. Like your body's like, no, you can't do it not even twice a week, girls. Like you need to start focusing on high protein, high fiber meals. Now that's the goal. Movement, we have to move. If we don't, we need to move our bodies. So, and it doesn't have to be hectic exercise. 20 minutes a day of walking, and as you will dance, just doing some kind of movement, stretching. So any like balancing it out with some Pilates or, you know, stretches, whatever, put the YouTube video on, get some weights or fill some bottles, you know, 500 ml bottles with sand, keep it in your house. When you're cooking, you know, pump something in the kitchen because you need to build the muscle. The more muscle you have, the stronger your bones are going to be, and the less of this you're going to get later on. Stress management. Oh, that's the other thing. How many of you have been more anxious? Your tolerance for stress has decreased. What you used to be able to carry, you can't carry anymore. Like my tolerance for stress, I can only do 2 things at a time now. I used to be able to do 4 things. I can't even my feet I'm not going to remember, and also I can't deal with the stress of it. I can't manage my stuff. So stress management becomes so important because there's actually some women who develop panic attacks in this phase because the receptors in the brain aren't working properly and estrogen is so low. You develop a low mood, and you're like, why am I feeling more depressed? You know, you're not like clinically depressed. It's because your body is not producing enough estrogen. So I'm going to give you some tips for nutrition to help support brain function. But the fiber helps to, like, you know, dopamine, serotonin, GABA, those are the feel-good hormones your body has. The more fiber you eat, the more naturally your body produces that. So it can help support the brain function. You know? And supplements. Ladies, vitamin D and calcium, it's just what it is, especially vitamin D, and then magnesium. Are any of you using magnesium? Yes. So you get yourself magnesium, vitamin D, and then the omega-3s. Now, omega-3s are expensive, but if you are eating like pilchards and sardines, those are rich in omega-3s. And if you can buy yourself a pack of flax seeds, or chia seeds, throw it in your porridge, throw it in a salad, sprinkle it over vegetables. Those all are omega-3s. And then there is medical support. So the other thing you're going to find is when you get this phase, and because this goes up, so this goes up, just the abdominal fat goes up, the muscle mass goes down. Now all of a sudden, you've never had a problem with your glucose before. Now you test your blood glucose and it's high. They do a cholesterol check, it's high. My blood pressure is high. And I'm like, but I haven't changed anything. It is as a result of some of the inflammation that's taking place in the body. Yeah? So there are some natural meds you can take to help lower the blood glucose. If not, speak to the doctor about getting a medication to help bring it down. And, but I'll go into more detail on that. Next slide. I must watch my time. Okay. The one thing I always tell women, though, is when you are noticing all these changes, one of the best things you can do is to save money and go get some blood tests done. Because it's very hard for someone to treat you or to you to know what's happening if you don't actually know what's happening. So you go and you ask your doctor for these specific tests. You want it, luckily we did it here. So you want glucose and cholesterol because we now need to see. Because you know when after the age of 50, the rate of heart disease triples in women. The number one cause of death among women over 50 is heart disease. And you know why? Partly because we don't eat well, but the other part is menopause. It's the fact that we are not producing estrogen anymore. So we want to do the cholesterol, we want to see where it's at so we can protect our hearts, okay? Then we've got the thyroid panel, so your thyroid hormones can also be affected. Always check, do a thyroid check. Vitamin D check. We actually have a large proportion of women who are vitamin D deficient. And as you get to 50, without the vitamin D, you get brittle bones, and your bones start to lose their strength, okay? And then we've got the B12 and iron. How many of you have massive fatigue? Like you don't know why you are so tired. You know, you're struggling to walk very far. You're sleepy all the time. Okay, a low iron can also cause that. And sometimes when we've got inflammation in our bodies, the iron drops. So you want to go get, part of your blood test is to check the iron also. And then what I call the I love this one, the highly sensitive CRP. It is a test-to-test inflammation in your body. So if there's any inflammation in your body, that thing will be elevated. And that's going to tell us immediately if something is wrong. Now, doctors usually check that out in hospitals when they suspect you've got like an infection, and then that will be high. But we don't do it routinely in us because they like, I mean, you have nothing wrong in your body. But in the meantime, with the low estrogen, there's this low-grade inflammation that's taken over, and that will be high. Mine was high, and I eat okay. So when I went to my doctor and I got my blood test back, I'm like, why is this high? And then I started doing my research and started working on this for myself, and I was like, oh, this is why it's happening. And women don't know. You don't know what's going on until you do, and then you can do something about it. Okay, next slide, please. Okay. So here's my nutritional advice, is make sure you've got protein at each meal. No? So that can be the eggs, chicken, fish. It can be plant protein, so beans, lentils, chickpeas, any of those types of foods included every meal. No? So for breakfast, if you can have oats and you got milk in, gooi a teaspoon of peanut butter into that oats to make it more protein rich. Otherwise, I mean, I would have yogurt and fruit. I will have eggs. Now, every second day, 2 eggs, toast, whole wheat toast. Cut up some peppers and tomato, like an omelette-y thing if you've got time. So try to add protein to every meal. Because you're losing you're losing muscle. And your body's using up a lot of your protein, so you need to have protein in your diet. Eat the rainbow, so include lots of fruits and vegetables, so 2 to 3 fruit a day, 4 to 5 vegetables a day. Cut things up into salads and soups, like winter now, make soups with lots of veggies in, freeze it, take it out when you need it, and take it to work, etc. Those things contain so much antioxidants, vitamins, minerals that support your body, and the fiber helps with this. No? So high fiber, just make this correlation. If you remember nothing else, high fiber is going to help me get rid of the pooch, and it's going to boost my mood. It's going to make me feel better in my mind. Yeah? So there's like beans, oats, chickpeas, whole grains, there's lentils. All of that are high fiber foods. So try a way to fit that into your diet. I've given 2 or 3 recipes on the handout that she's going to email to you. But there are so many places you can just go online and have a look. Healthy fats. So like I said, flax seeds, chia seeds, bullshit, sardines, avos. Those are all healthy forms of omega-3s. You need that, so please incorporate that into your diet. And then your blood sugar, try to, I know we all love it because I do, my chips, my crisps. I have a hard time letting that go, but you're going to need to cut down on those like foods that are fast foods, and slap chips is lekker. I also like it. I like pizza. I do. So my friend is here. She can testify to when the chips come out, I'm the one eating all of the chips on the packet, even though I know I need to watch that. So like to manage our blood sugar levels, we're going to have to cut down, you know, moderate. So what I do is I make sure I eat lekker the week when we go visit her, because she always has lekker stuff. I go visit her, then I know I'm going to get chips, and then I'm like, I eat lekker the whole week. I'm not going to eat my chips now because I want to. But these things in moderation. If I want pizza, I take my 2 slices and then I make sure I make my sweet potato on the side. You know, like there are ways to balance it out. But you need to start watching that. Next slide. Oh, you can't see that. Okay, for the exercise, I'm going to leave that when you go speak to your exercise guru here. But you need at least 2 days a week where you're doing some of this muscle work. No? So this is like, you know, squatting, and you doing some, so like for lots of women tell me, Ma, I don't have time, and I must go, because we're also in this age where we've got young children or teenagers, and we've got aging parents. So now we're looking after them, we're still working, and just now, we must get a chance to now go and exercise. Man, that's what I'm saying, make your own weights or get some in the kitchen when you're cooking. I forget, like I'm not gonna lie. I'm not consistent. No, I'm trying. But I'm not always consistent. And that's what pays off. Consistency pays off. I still don't do it every day. But I'm trying. And I got the weights in my kitchen. I haven't actually put them up, but I put them there. So you just start like, you know, like while you're standing there, like, let's do this. Pick up the, you know, the weights. We need to start 2 to 3 times a week just building up this muscle mass. And YouTube a video, put the video on the thing while you're ironing. I don't know who still irons. I hate ironing. I let my husband iron everything. I don't iron. So you start to just do some of those things. Because, listen here, the payoff long-term for your own self-care. So use that hashtag, I don't care, on yourself now. Like, okay, die moet gedoen word, but that can wait. I need to spend some time actually focusing on myself. And you're going to find that as you start doing more things for yourself, you're going to feel better. And you're going to feel good. And then it gets easier. But don't put it off. No, don't put off looking after yourself, because you want longevity. Your children want you to be there when they get to 50 also. So look after yourself now. That's the payoff. And then these joyful movements like dancing. Join a dance club or a dance group. They've got a thing now called somatic movement, you know, where you take the stress out of your body. You must just like shake. So if you had a hard day at work, they say shaking gets that negative energy. So just shake it. Shake it. You can get trauma release exercises, no? And that's also like stuff gets stuck in your body. Just, you know, you start kicking it out and doing some movements. Those are just things you need to do every day. And then respect recovery. So like, let's just say you're having a month where you get a heavy cycle and it's now long, and don't not go walk. Stretch yourself in the morning, move your muscles, but also respect your body's ability. Don't push yourself to do things you know that's going to hurt you. Okay, so that's look after yourself. Okay, next slide. Okay, here's the medicine. Don't be scared to ask your GP or your gynae. Guys, go with information. So if all you do is you print out my slides and you go to the doctor and you're like, I'm experiencing this. I think, can we talk about me being on this medication? Can we talk about me getting this, please? So the pharmaceuticals, Um, Hormone replacement therapy is not dangerous. So if there are those of you who have been thinking, should I maybe get some estrogen? Especially if you are in menopause, now you know you're starting off, you're fully now going into it. Don't be scared to ask your doctor about estrogen. It's not just the tablet that's strong. You can get a patch that you put here, and it's slow release. You can get a cream that you can rub on your skin, very light doses. So you get different types that you can use, and it's useful, especially for women who now start having recurrent bladder infections. Because this is the other thing. We've got a thing called the musculoskeletal syndrome of menopause, where your bones and your muscles are affected, no? That's what we spoke about. Then you've got the genitourinary syndrome of menopause. This is that increased bladder infections. You're constantly getting a bladder infection and you don't know why, and all they're doing is giving you antibiotics. If you're consistently having that, that's not normal. You shouldn't be having it affect your life like that. Ask them about those types of estrogens that can support that. Okay, so go to your doctor informed. Natural supplements, not yet, go back. Natural supplements, if some people who start getting the hot flashes have found that using some natural things work, they take much longer to see an effect though. You have to take them for like 4 or 5 weeks before they start showing some like signs of relief in the body. So that can be your soy isoflavones. And then there's a thing called berberine. It's called nature's Ozempic. Who's here of Ozempic? All of you must have seen the people taking it, and then they're like, yo, how did they lose that weight? They're taking Ozempic. But berberine is a natural supplement. It's in the supplement aisle. It's actually a blood glucose lowering plant-based thing. It's natural. It's based from a rhubarb plant. And you can take it, and if your blood glucose is a bit high, it's going to start bringing that a bit down. Okay, so that's one. And then Estrovera is also a natural supplement. It's very expensive though. I don't use it. I mean, I don't get hot flushes yet, but I would consider it. It helps with the hot flushes. So women who have started to get severe hot flushes and don't want to go on hormone replacement therapy will take something like Estrovera. So there are drugs you can take, and you can speak to your doctor about the right dose and how to take it. You don't have to suffer, man. Like, this is what I'm trying to get at. That things like what your mother said, you must just get through it. I watched my mommy. She would cry in the bathroom for no reason, and then she's scaling, and then she had this the hot flash would come, and then she's like drenched in sweat. But she never told me what was going on. I never understood until now. I'm like, Mommy, did you do anything about it? No. They just said you must just gonna get through it. And I'm like, but that's not pleasant for me. I'm not happy to just get through it. I want to be supported. Next slide, please. Now you can go to the next. IT. Okay. Then managing anxiety and panic attacks. Now this is something that actually did hit me. I had an increase in stress, decrease in my stress tolerance and anxiety. I couldn't explain why I was feeling so anxious. I've never struggled before. I've got a high stress, tolerance where I can do many things, and all of a sudden I just couldn't. And then I really had to get into this breath work. I learned about box breathing, breathe in for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. I practiced that, box breathing, fresh air, being out in the sun, getting some outside, sunlight and fresh air. So there's a lot of ways to support it, and you're going to have to do it. Like, you're going to have to set out time for you. That's not negotiable. And you're going to have to start doing that self-care, especially if you want to see yourself thrive later on. Right, next slide. You can read through this on your own. Yeah. So, now so my final thoughts are, because I wanted to open up for some questions if there are any. My final thoughts are, this doesn't have to be the end of life, you know it, when you reach this phase. It is a new beginning. It is a rediscovery. For me, my first few, like you were married and a child, my entire focus is thrown into looking after my family. Your entire focus is looking after the needs of your child. You forget about your own needs. You put your stuff on the back burner. I'm in this job, I need the money. Even though I'm not enjoying it anymore, I don't have another option right now. Now, my kid is a bit older, she's more independent. I'm also like, but why am I doing everything? My husband can do some things also. And I'm like, what do I want to do? What do I want to rediscover? What do I want to put my hand to? What do I want to try? This talking here to you is new. Like, it's not something I do all the time. I lecture students, it's my thing. But me wanting to give women empowerment and education, talking like this is new. But I'm loving it. And I'm like, oh, I'm loving this. This is good. I want to do this more. So this is an opportunity to grow and find something new about yourself. You are now your own health advocate. You're going to have to go and ask the questions. No one is doing it for you. And currently, the way the medical system is set up, you got your 15 minutes. You gaan in, 6:50. What's wrong with you? Here's a pill, gaan jy huis toe. There's no time to ask your questions, you know. So now I'm like my own health advocate. I tell my doctor, not in a rude way, I'm really nice. It's like, you need to do this blood test on me, please. And then she's like, why? And I tell her why. And she's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm sure. And then she does it, she's like, oh, you're right. And like, I know I was right. Just do it. Just do it. But it's the time for you to ask the questions. You know, stand in your confidence. Don't just accept, like how many of you just accept what the doctor says, Nakhanje? No, that is over now. We don't just accept what like I've seen it so many times, and especially with our older generation, like my mother-in-law, I'm like, Mom, why are you on 5 pills? No, she don't know. The doctor gave her the 5 pills. One is for sugar, one is for cholesterol, one is for blood pressure. I'm like, but why are you on 2 of this or 2 of that? And she doesn't know. I said, you need to ask questions. You need to find out what is it for, how long do you need it, is there anything else you can do? Yeah? And then for those of you who ever thought, is the symptoms in my head? No, they're not. They're not in your head. They are probably very real. They are valid. You are going through this. So you deserve to feel heard. You deserve to be around people who are going to listen to you and honor your process. You know, and I think that's the beauty of this era of women. We don't just accept no. And we don't just accept this is how it is. We're like, no, we're going to change that. We're going to change that. My last slide. Yeah. So my takeaway was like, may you walk in wisdom and may your body be your ally. Because we spend times fighting our body. We don't listen. You get up and you go to work and you do the 5 things. And then next week you got a pain somewhere. You know, we don't honor our bodies enough to listen to what's happening. Right? May your voice grow louder. Hashtag, I don't care. You know, you will listen to me now. And I mean, I didn't want to bring this in, but there's been a history of when we are in a minority group and you go to these professionals, they treat you and undermine you. They undermine you. They make like you don't know what you know. And hashtag, I don't care, that stops also. You speak, ask questions, and if it's the wrong fit, you go to the next one. And then I put there, she is clothed with strength and dignity, and she can laugh to the days to come. Because with information and knowledge comes power. And now you can take your power back. And you can start looking after your body. And you can laugh at the days to come. Because you know there's nothing wrong with me. This is normal. Okay, flat my story is uit. And then, if there is any questions, I'm happy to field some questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can we give Candice another round of applause, please? Okay. Mine was very cold as well. Thank you so much, Candice. Questions? Okay. I will walk around with that mic, and then you can. Okay.
Is there any questions? Does anyone have there's a question here. She's going to bring a mic so I can hear.
It's not actually a question. If I make my sums, we need, when we're over 50, your vitamins, calcium and magnesium, your estrogen, What is collagen? That is the question.
Okay, collagen is it's a protein base. So they actually make it from the dried up bones of fish, cows, and pigs. So the different animals, because there's a high amount of amino acids and proteins, basically the breakdown of proteins in the bones. So they dry it out and then they make a powder from it, and it actually supports your joint health.
Yes,
So if you take the powder and you add it, you can add it to, because most of them are they flavorless. So you can add them to yogurt, you can add them to sauces, you can add them to coffee, and over the long term, they support the joint health. So they support the
that
joints.
is all for the joints, yes.
And the skin.
Yes.
Yes.
So if I add up my brain food, my vitamins, my calcium, magnesium, what else? Estrogen, collagen, all those for the month. I'm adding almost 1,000 rand in tablets.
How old are you?
I'm 61.
Okay. You, for the most part, need to focus on vitamin D, calcium,
And
not estrogen. You can't buy estrogen anyway. You need it from the doctor. Do you get it from the GP?
No,
Your estrogen.
I'm on no medication.
Okay, no.
So the only medication, only vitamins I'm using now is all the vitamin Bs. What is that?
You can get your vitamin Bs and your fiber you can get from food. You don't need to take vitamin Bs. If you're eating enough fruits and vegetables, you're drinking juice and eating enough food, the most important ones to use the vitamin D and the calcium and the magnesium. Those three are the three most important ones for you at this time to support bone health. Everything else you can get from food. So if you want to lower cost, increase the amount of the quality foods you're eating rather than buying a lot of supplements. Don't waste your money on that. And B vitamins you pee out.
Now the vitamin B tablets I have to take because I've got this pain in my knee after I had shingles. So the pain, I had pain in my whole body. So the pain stopped right there on my knee. So if I don't drink those vitamin Bs, those that they advertise on TV, what's the name?
The neurobian.
Neurobian, if I stop with that, which I did, then the pain comes back.
So that is probably because you had a B12 deficiency. Yes, so that's why you're on it. So if you need to stay on it, then rather stay on it. But that neurobian is expensive. But then buy a combination vitamin D and calcium. Don't buy two separate, one calcium, one vitamin D. You can get a CalMag. They've got vitamin D, calcium, and thing in one pill, one tablet. Yes. So you get one of those. Don't buy three separate supplements. And then just eat enough food. Yeah. Eat healthy.
Hi, Candice. Thank you for all the information. I just have a question. You said with perimenopause, your period goes away for about a year. Is it supposed to come back after that?
No. With menopause, it's after 12 months, you're now in menopause. If you get no period consecutively, so it's now been 12 months straight without a period, then you're in menopause. Perimenopause is you get a period, you skip a month, you get a period. This month it's heavy, that month is 1 day. That's perimenopause. It is when you stopped having a period consecutively for 12 months, then you're in menopause. But if you're still getting a period, they're not going to classify it as menopause. You're in peri. It's just abnormal.
I just want to know, so I get the cycle of the period, but what if you had a hysterectomy? How do you then classify?
Okay. It depends on the type of hysterectomy you have. Did they keep your ovaries? Okay, so then you're in menopause. You're in surgical menopause. Because once they've taken your ovaries out, you don't produce any estrogen. So what they should have told you was, we are prematurely putting you now, because we took out, we removed your ovaries as well, you've now been placed into surgical menopause, meaning it wasn't a natural progression, but because they took your ovaries out, you lost the estrogen, and they should have prepared you for that before the surgery, so that you know what to expect. You know that, you should be now taking calcium and vitamin D, and so those supplements that she was talking about, you should be taking them long ago. Well, then you were, long ago you were in menopause. You know, like you still in that. It's done. You post-menopause now. Like, it's over. You've officially joined the We Don't Care Club. Just klar.
Thank you so much, Candice. Can we give another round of applause, please? Amen. Just so ons se liggame is duur, jong. Yeah, our body is very expensive. That's why we should take care of it, no matter what. There are things that you get that are in place, and of course we listened, and wow, I actually learned a lot now. Even though I'm not there yet, I learned a lot. Okay, so during this time, we are going to go to our different stations. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't know. I have a bag over here because I'm prepared. So I want to go to the massaging, you know. So let me just put my headband on, prepare myself. Sure, this thing's small. So I'm ready. I'm ready. Do you look good? Right, I feel like I'm relaxed, so I might go fall asleep. I can't see you just about that. I took my specs off, so I just see blur. So if I look like I'm looking at you, I'm actually not looking at you, eh?